Hello, good afternoon. Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, a division of RB Oppenheim Associates. Welcome to the Digital Marketing Podcast and video where we talk about digital marketing strategies and tactics to help grow your business. Today, I want to talk about how to integrate voice search into your business growth and marketing plans for 2020. Some interesting statistics that I want to share with you as we dive into this, and I'm going to share an article from 99 Firms, which is a great resource on the web when you're looking for just information, both demographic as well as market research on what kind of numbers do we know about voice search, voice-assisted devices, smart speakers, and things of that nature. But today I want to talk about a couple of them, and then also talk about strategies specifically on how you need to plan for business growth and your marketing plans for 2020. First of all, I think the first thing we need to understand is what's driving voice search. Why are we continuing to use this technology, whether it's wearable smart devices, or if it's smart speakers in our homes, or if it is voice-enabled devices in our automobiles. I mean, it is all around us, whether we're at home or in the car or on the go. Voice search is here, and it's here to stay, and it's going to continue to grow, because at the end of the day, we are obsessed with convenience. We have all come to realize that time is precious. And every minute that I can save by not having to do one activity or another, if I can just shout out and say, hey, Amazon, get this, or hey, Google Home, where's this, or get me this, we're going to continue to see technology evolve in that area. And so as business owners, I don't care if you are a small business owner of a local business or whether you are the president, vice president, executive director of an organization. This needs to be on your radar because this is going to be where we are. So let's jump right into some of these statistics that I find extremely interesting. So 61% of 25 to 64-year-olds say that they will use a voice search device more in the future. So what that's telling us, and it's interesting when you look at the statistics, younger demographics are actually slightly less, like in the low 50% range, more likely to use a voice search. So basically, folks like myself, we're looking for any way we can optimize and get more time, because time is fleeting from us. A number that's very popular that we know that really came out, I guess probably the end of last year in 2018, was that 50% of all Google local searches done were done by voice search and included the word near me. So obviously Siri dominates the market share when it comes to voice assistants on mobile devices. As they've had that as a part of their sort of technology for some time. Android is behind the game, but of course, Amazon has quickly ramped up its market share because of its dominance in the smart speaker platform. So they're just over 10% market share in smart devices with their products. So we're going to continue to see that information. Now, another interesting point is in 2018, the 2018 data showed that more than half, 58% of smart speaker owners were men, 60%, who make $75,000 or more per year. So I think that's very interesting, especially if your target market is men, and men who have a $75,000 or greater annual income. This is the profile of the individual who is using this type of technology. Now, obviously, there's a large group of females that use this. So I just think that data is interesting, especially if your brand, heavily targets men. Now, voice assisted search, I do think when we look at how are we using it, so 43% of people say that they use voice search in their home. Makes sense, right? Because you're cooking or you're cleaning, your hands are occupied with something, and so you need to be able to get whatever it is you need, whether you need to order something, whether you need to turn on a light, the ability for you to activate or search or make something happen with not using your eyes and not using your hands by just voice is extremely valuable. So that makes sense. 43% in home, 36% voice search are done in your vehicle, and then 19% done on the go, meaning you're walking around with your phone in your hand or you're out and about. So again, it goes to the point of that we are multitaskers, and any device or any technology that allows us to multitask, get more done in less time, we're going to be 100% on board. I do think for businesses who are thinking about how does this impact my digital marketing strategy, I think that you need to understand this point very clearly, that phone calls convert somewhere between 10 to 15% times more, create more revenue than just regular web leads. So if you send someone from an ad to a voice type of taking action, you are 10 to 15 times greater revenue generated from that action compared to if I fill out a form. Because if I'm ready to go ahead and pick up the phone and call you or make a connection and speak with one of your consultants, representatives, I am much closer in making a decision, and obviously will convert quicker if I've already picked up the phone and I'm ready to call and talk to someone with your business. Now, I think so. Those are some statistics. If those did not wake you up and have you start thinking about your 2020 business growth and marketing plans, they really should. And I really want to break down sort of think about the 4 components of the search query. It really breaks down into kind of the what, how, when, and where sort of structure of these phrases. So as you start to think about whether you're a consumer yourself, I mean, we've all bought things on the internet. We've all searched for things, using voice search. We're continuing to do it more. But think about this. If I start my query off with, what can I use to clean my car? Pretty vague, generic type question, right? I'm really trying to fact find and find out what's out there, right? So that's sort of that general, top of funnel awareness. Let me find out what products are out there, right? So, and then if I kind of move down, once I kind of find out, okay, here's what's out there. Then if I say, how do I find this, right? Then I've kind of stepped into, okay, I already know what the topic is. Now I'm trying to find out how can I find out more about this, right? So I'm kind of moving from awareness into consideration. And then the next question that I might ask would be, when can I go to get this, right? So the when as part of that question, again, kind of moves me further into or towards my intent, moving from really my voice. We're talking about the degree of intent, right? From what's out there to how can I get it, when can I get it, and then lastly, where can I get it, right? So if I type in where can I buy fresh hot pizza, or where can I find the lowest interest rates on an automobile, those kinds of specific questions like that really help you to think through where that person is in the journey as far as their decision tree, in the decision process. So using those searches, I think this is important. We've talked about this on another show where we talk about writing content. You can think of it as articles or blog posts or just website content that you're putting on your website. You know, many clients, and I did a whole episode on this. If you want to look it back, I'll put a link in the blog post for this later. I did a whole episode about how your frequently asked questions section needs to be broken up and expanded upon, and then use it and dynamically have it collect on a website. So instead of having your FAQ as, you know, question in bold and then the text of what the answer to that question is, you actually want to write a piece of content that the title of the content is the question, and then the body of the text is the answer in a long form. And when I say long form, I mean an exhaustive, you need a minimum of about 500 words, but you really, if you want to hit the sweet spot, you need about 1,800 words to really get Google's attention. And then make sure that inside the body of the answers, if you specifically mention products or services that you offer, you take that link and you link it back to your home page, so that when the user is reading that information and they find it after doing their voice search on where can I find the best interest rates for CDs, you know, you literally have that question, and then you go through and link to those pages where that dynamic information is. But then if you have the ability, and like for WordPress sites, you have the ability to essentially say, you know, one line of code up the top says, go get all of the, you know, posts or articles that are categorized as FAQ, and then dynamically display them. So the end user, when they come on, they see all the headings, they see all the questions, and when they want to read it, they just click on it and it takes them directly to the answer for that question. But by breaking it out individually and kind of reverse engineering it based on the intent search query sort of, you know, starting phrase of using what, how, when, and where, you can really get ahead of the game when it comes to anticipating what are the voice queries going to be, and how might they find your business if they don't know the name of your business. Well, that brings up another point. What if they don't know the name of your business? What is that called? I mean, that is called branding, and that is why branding matters now more than ever. Because understand this, what's going to happen is in the future, you're going to see that users are going to turn to their you know, smart devices, whether it's a smart speaker or wearable devices, or, you know, we're going to have obviously computers that we can just, you know, speak to and do voice search from that. When those searches are done, if they don't, if I don't say where, if I say Amazon, get me a BurgerFi cheeseburger, what have I just done? I've acknowledged that BurgerFi has done enough branding for me to remember their specific brand, right? But if I don't remember BurgerFi and I say, Alexa, I want a cheeseburger. Uh-oh, she's thinking. She's telling me what a cheeseburger is. So what's going to happen is brands like Burger King and McDonald's are going to say, hey, thanks for asking about a cheeseburger. We have locations near you at location X, location Y, and location Z. And guess what? Those are going to be sponsored ads. And you know what? Small businesses are not going to be able to compete with the McDonald's or, you know, the big corporate brands who are going to go in and scoop up those queries. So your company needs to think about it now and really leverage the organic game and make sure that your content and your strategies for your business growth and marketing plans for 2020 are already anticipating. We don't have to wait till it gets here. We can start deploying and planning and crafting content and strategies now, because we already know, we know what we're going to do. We're going to be driven by convenience. and we know that we're going to use these devices to ask these questions. And so if we can prepare our content and our strategy based on these things, we can get ahead of the game. Guys, you don't need to worry about trying to come up with an Alexa skill yourself and all of that stuff. That's we're still going to be a couple of years from that. But right now, what's absolutely critical is that you understand that voice assisted queries and how your content is designed is absolutely critical to the success of your business growth and your marketing plans for 2020. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you've enjoyed it. I know it's a little bit late getting on to the airs, but I know my friends on the West Coast are like, yes, he's getting on later. It's great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You've made this podcast and video series an epic success. I'm completely humbled. This week we reached #2 on Spotify for digital marketing. And again, it goes to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Catch me on Twitter, DigitalWin, @DigitalWin, WINN, or like it or comment on Facebook. Please share this post or video or podcast with someone you know that is struggling with growing their business or is trying to figure out, what they're going to do with their marketing plans. I think they should they'll find some great value in these episodes. All of our best strategies and tactics that we're deploying for our clients, I'm giving them away for free. I want your business to grow and succeed. And I just would love to hear from you to say, hey, Michael, we did these strategies and it worked and we saw some increase in our business. I would love that. I would love to hear from you if you have that experience. So again, thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you guys will tune in tomorrow. Have a great day. I'm Michael Wynn, Chief Digital Officer of Digital Ops, and we'll see you tomorrow.